Well, it's Tuesday.
Oh, already? My goodness, the time flies.
You know, they come around every 7 days.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah. I'd like to meet the person that came up with that idea, but they lived a long time. Anyway, we digress.
It's the second day in the week, Tuesday.
Tuesday. We're back to reviewing a couple of products, just to dive in on that. This is a product that I absolutely went bonkers for when it came out. Gee, like 1990?
Wow.
Has it been that long? Anyway, Delton Locomotive Works. And I just loved all the Delton, and we've got a bunch of their engines and that sort of thing. And then they were doing everything in 1/2 inch scale for the large scale garden railroad community. But back then, this notion was that the serious large scale modeler worked in 1/2 inch scale.
Wow.
Even though the gauge, therefore, was completely wrong.
Huh.
Although purists like Dawn just regauged their whole railroad to 1.5 inches, so the gauge would be correct.
That's easy.
For a 1/2 inch scale.
Or not.
But then that means that nothing that you buy fits your gauge. The rest of us just use number 1 gauge track, the same G scale, G gauge standard, the thing that everybody's been using for backyard railroading forever. But back in like 1990, the notion was in the 1980s that the serious modeler worked in 1/2 inch scale.
Wow.
I don't know why. And then all the German stuff was 1/22 scale. And then later on, somebody said, no, the serious modeler wants to work in 120.3 scale. And we've been there ever since.
Wow.
So they're huge.
Yeah, they're big.
These great, big, huge models. But back in like the late 80s and into the 1990s, they were little. Delton did all these different freight cars and stuff, and then they decided to come out with passenger cars.
Oh, cool.
And then their passenger cars, they used those same molds modified to make a rail bus.
Okay.
And a couple of different rail buses. One of them was really pretty neat. It's like an interurban car. And then the one is the Delton Doozy. They put a Mack truck front end on there. But the very first thing they came up with was the passenger car. And just as an aside, I digress, I'm sorry. But after Delton went into financial problems and everybody said, oh, they're going to go broke and all of this sort of thing, I'm on eBay. And here are the molds to make the passenger cars on eBay.
Oh, my goodness.
For something like $120,000. I thought, what? Well, that was just one of those weird things. How is it that the molds that made passenger cars ended up on eBay for $120,000? I doubt very much that they sold. But
you
it was
never
just,
know.
It was, and we're talking $120,000 in 1990 money. So that would be closer to, I don't even know what now.
Bugab dinero.
$250,000 in today's money, something like that.
A lot.
None of that makes any sense about what we're going to talk about, and that's the passenger car. So here they
Oh,
are.
there they are. Look at
and
that.
they're tiny because they're 1/2 inch scale. And they used the same box that they were using for their freight cars. And these things are a little bit hard to find because they didn't make that many of them because that was right when they were going through various reorganizational bankruptcies and their molds were popping up on eBay.
Yeah, I mean.
But their molds were on eBay for $120,000 and so on. So
wow.
Anyway, I am 100% certain that I had 4 of these, that I bought 4 of these.
It still might turn up, though. You never know.
And there's only 3 of them here, so in all the various, how many things did I lose over the years?
When you move, it's just, I'm still looking for stuff.
I had so much stuff stolen, and I knew, I got to my storage unit and it had been ransacked, so
been gone through.
That might be what happened to the 4th one. I might be delusional, and I only ever had 3.
But sleep on it.
Yeah. Anyway, here we have the RPO. if I can get it to come out of the box.
Just don't drop it to the floor. Oh, look at that. What a treat.
Is that sweet?
Ta-da! Oh,
Is
my.
that sweet or what?
Wow.
They were so well done, and especially in that era when everything was like LGB, so the LGB was a little bit larger than this, but a lot more toy-like. And when these came out, and I bought mine in Colorado and Southern because all my stuff back then was Colorado and Southern. This is the RPO, as you can see. It's got the Delton knuckle, which is a swing coupler. It's mounted to the wheel truck,
Right.
which makes the car too tall and the coupler too low.
Yeah, I can see that.
And so what I had been doing with all my Deltons, and this one hasn't had it done, is refit them with Katy couplers.
Oh.
And all my half-inch scale stuff, I put Katy couplers on.
Right.
I put the Bachmann or the AMS knuckles on the 20th scale. The 22 scale is anybody's guess, but the half-inch scale I've just found works best with Katy couplers.
How fun.
So anyway, there's the RPO. Needs to have the proper couplers put on it. This one is not wired for lights. I didn't realize. So that it's because it's the RPO. It doesn't have any lights.
No dormer windows
Well,
either, or the clear story windows.
Yeah, the clear stories are filled in. And I don't think any of these had clear story windows. Anyway, that's going to get lights.
Of course. You're going to have
point.
lights in it, yes.
So let's grab another one of these guys. This is the combine car. And this one should have lights.
They seal them really well. They don't want you in there.
Well,
But they have to be packaged.
they have to be packaged reasonably well.
Yeah, they don't fall
And then
out.
these I repackaged when I put away my Garden Railway, and they haven't been out of the boxes since. So.
No spiders or anything like that. Oh, look at this one. Wow.
Something's on the loose in there, and I think it's just the door sliding open and closed, but I could be... No, the door is actually
On the loose.
not just sliding open and closed, it's actually come loose in there. So
that's the other downside about moving. Things
that
get broken.
needs to be put back on its track. This other one is still on its track,
And it's stuck.
but it's stuck. Okay, so there's the combine
Oh, look
car.
at that. It's got green tinted windows and everything. Isn't
Yeah.
that fun?
Again, the clear
Oh, it
story.
even has a stove in there.
Isn't that neat?
Oh my goodness.
They've got full interiors,
Wow.
and in
There's
this
your
case,
lights.
there's the wiring for the lights. So it does have lights back here, but it doesn't have lights up there. There again, be fun to put
Well,
lights
that's
in the
half the
baggage
fun of
section.
modeling is
Well,
getting creative.
I love running trains at night.
Sure.
And you have the lights on. Number 20, that's kind of interesting. I hadn't noticed that. That's the same as the baggage car at the Nevada Northern.
Oh, neat.
Just
Number
one of those
20.
silly coincidences. Anyway, there's the combine car, and that just leaves the chair car.
Oh, boy. Colorado Southern. Wow.
The Colorado Southern was such a neat railroad, and back when I was doing my Garden Railroad, I just thought that it was such a neat railroad that was most of my stuff
There it is.
was Colorado and Southern, a little bit of Rio Grande Southern.
Oh, look at
But
that one.
for
Oh,
the
it
most
also
part.
has a stove.
Has the stove,
Oh,
full
my.
lights in here. So in this case, both wheel trucks are wired. Where on the combine, since the lights are only at one end, I guess they figured they only needed to power it
Yeah,
from
you
one
only
end.
need to. No, there's no light where
That's
the boxes go.
Pretty silly.
Yeah.
You'd at least want to hook power to both trucks so they don't flicker quite so much.
Right.
Again, these are all issues, but here's a picture of one of these sitting next to an AMS Jackson and Sharp coach, and you can just see how much different 20th scale is from half-inch scale. And again, they're running on the exact same track. Everything runs on 1 3/4 inch number 1 gauge track. It's just that during this time when everybody thought that half-inch scale was the thing to do.
I think an angel got its wings.
It just means that the gauge is wide by a full 1/4 of an inch. That's pretty far off when you think about it. Yeah, an angel got its wings. Which one of us?
I'm not turning around.
I'm not turning around. Now, the missing car, and I haven't even been able to find any references to the fact that they were ever made, which tends to indicate that I am delusional, that I never had that 4th car, but I'm 93.7% certain that I did have an observation car. And they did make the Doodlebug, the interurban car, with that end on it. So
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that they made one of these that had the decorative railings at the back with a
okay.
drum head and
Right.
a little hanging down fringe curtain thing deal. And it was like a full-on. I'm pretty sure they made that, but I haven't been able to find pictures. So maybe they didn't, and maybe I'm just nuts. But I'm pretty sure that I had a 4-car train, and then I would pull this with my LGB, which was a little oversized because the LGB is 1/22 scale. This is half-inch scale. But it looked okay. It looked okay.
Yeah, as long as it looks all right.
But if I tried pulling this with the 20th scale,
It'd look a little funny.
it'd look real funny. So my plan right now is to have a whole bunch of half-inch scale equipment, just because I still have all this half-inch scale equipment left over from my old railroad. 7 half-inch scale locomotives.
Wow.
About 15 pieces of freight equipment, 1 caboose,
One caboose.
at DNRG,
Oh,
yeah, and 3 of these,
well, there you go. That's a train.
all in half-inch scale. So my plan right now is to fix up all my half-inch scale stuff and run the half-inch scale stuff just as half-inch scale stuff, because
Yeah.
it just looks so screwy to mix up the scales, and I would never do that because I'm a purist. Everyone that knows me knows that
I just stay off the scales.
I just
How about that?
I get on the scales. I just don't tell anybody what they said.
Mine quit. Mine laughs.
My doctor says you need to lose some weight. I said I might as well. I've lost everything else.
Oh, God. I lost weight, but I turned around and found it.
I must. Yeah. It was back there.
Oh, yeah.
I tried putting some of my weight up for sale on eBay. There were no takers.
Yeah.
Anyway, we digress.
Oh,
Anyway,
wait.
is that just the coolest thing, though?
I love it.
And here's when they're all stretched out in a train and with a proper half-inch scale locomotive pulling this. And like I say, we've got 3 Delton C16s. We've got 4. Well, that's counting Dawn's, but it lives here, so that's fair. So we have 4 Delton C16s in half-inch scale. We have 4 half-inch scale brass engines, and a half-inch scale rail bus.
No boy.
Or do we have 2? I can't keep track of this stuff. But we have these 3 passenger cars.
Yeah, we'll have a train.
And
that's
they
for
are
sure.
gonna. They look great going around, and I haven't seen them going around in some 22 years.
22
Has
years.
it been? Okay, 90.
From 90?
Okay, I
You're
took the
looking at about
railroad apart.
33 years.
Okay, I took the railroad apart in 95.
Okay.
So only 28 years.
Yeah, only 28 years, something like
So
that.
that these have been in the
Wow,
box,
has it been
that's hardly the tick of a clock. Anyway,
Exactly.
these will get run on the railroad now that we have a railroad to run on them,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to get converted to body-mounted KD couplers.
There you go.
And if I can figure out a way to shorten them up just a bit, because they're a little too tall, and they had to make them too tall so that
Mm-hmm.
the trucks could swing.
Right.
But if I can figure out a way to adjust it, because they look a little funny.
Hey, if I can shorten a pickup truck, you can shorten your truck.
They just look a little funny being up tall,
Yeah.
like this. But that's just a gorgeous car,
It's
gorgeous
beautiful.
interior,
I
everything
like it.
about it. It's just an oddball scale.
Well, it'll work.
But
Well, make it work.
Here.
Right.
I'll run it.
Exactly.
Well, there it is, the Delton passenger car, the molds for which popped up on eBay for $120,000 in about 1990.
Wow.
Go figure.
Imagine.
Well, if you haven't been over to the channel, and if you're not a subscriber or a member, because if you want to financially support the channel, you can join as a member, and we love our members.
Yes. Member to join.
Member to join. So if you want to be a member and join, remember the members, and sign up just to send us a few dollars every month to support what we're doing.
Right.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it doesn't cost anything to subscribe.
Right.
And you can do that by clicking on the blue button. Are we
Which
ready for it?
is-
Zoink! Right there, the blue button. Well, we're not sure how you found this movie on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring.
Oh, no.
And we will see you here on Sunday with the Sunday Show.
We'll see you.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.